All right, hey guys, OFD checking in here, and a little bit about that opening here. I'm going to get into the whole story here. Scott Stoffer at Watches Galore reached out to me about a tour of a watch. He sent me some pictures. I was completely blown away when he sent me pictures of the watch because he sent me a number of pictures of these watches, these being the Zoid Dragon series. And immediately when I saw them, they took me back to a time in my life when I was 16 years old and a movie called Big Trouble in Little China came out. And it had martial arts and fantasy and all this kind of really cool stuff. And the film's technology and stuff they were using and stuff was really state of the art for 1986. And I absolutely loved the movie. And as soon as I saw this watch, it kind of took me back to that time in my life. And Scott said, hey, are you willing to do a tour of this watch? And I said, put me on the list because it's so cool and so different. Definitely not something we see every day in the watch world or on videos and stuff like that, guys. So I was happy to be a part in this tour of the Zoid Red Dragon. So I'm going to go ahead and pause it here, guys, and we'll get this right up in front of the camera and take a closer look at it. All right, guys, so here we go up close in front of the camera. I've got the watch in my hand. So this is a beast of a watch, and it's no doubt how big this watch is. Actually, one of Zoid's big thing is wrist presence and really having something on your wrist that nobody can ignore. I mean, it'd really be hard as a watch person to ignore this watch if you saw somebody wearing it. I'd want to definitely ask some questions about the watch. So this is the Zoid Red Dragon. Now, they're making these, and I think 3 different series. They have a red dragon, they have a green dragon, and they have a black model that actually has Swarovski's crystals inlaid all the way around the watch. It's super crazy cool. I mean, it's just a wild looking watch. So getting into just the construction and stuff like that on these watches real quick, like these are 316L stainless steel watches with this gold, I think this is a PVD coating, I'm not quite sure, over the outside of it. Very nicely done. The movement inside this watch is a Seiko NH37. And if you guys aren't familiar with the NH37, I actually have one of these movements in another watch. Right down here, you do have a 24-hour calculation. And I'll bring it up here closer in a little bit so we can kind of try to figure that out. But usually on the Seikos, these are flipped. These are completely flipped the other way. You have the crown on the other side and stuff like that. Whereas on the Red Dragon, I think because of the size of the watch, because of the crown guard and everything like that, they flipped it over to the left side so it made it more comfortable to wear on the wrist so you didn't bind it on your, your hand as you're moving your wrist around. So crazy, crazy watch. This is one of 8. Each watch in the series is only 8 of them are made. So, I mean, you got to figure you're going to have a very, very unique piece here on your hands. So I'm going to go ahead and pop this open here. This is the crown action here, guys. Standard NH37 or NH35, NH36 movement from Seiko. It's a hacking, hand-windable movement with the date setting. Obviously, the difference with the NH37 is that you have this this 24-hour wheel down here. Now, I have I think it's the SSA 285K1 from Seiko that actually has the hands and stuff like that for the 24-hour dial. But I'm going to bring this up here so you guys can see it. And this does not have any hands here, guys. It has this little, like, flying 6-ball thing here going around. And I think that the end of it here is actually the indicator for where your 24 hours is and stuff like that. But to be honest with you, I don't think that's really the point of this watch. It was funny, I posted this on a Facebook club and or group, and somebody said, wow, it's a really cool watch, but it'd be hard to tell the time because of the hands and stuff. And I commented, yeah, I use my phone to tell the time. I actually just stare at watches. And this is kind of what this watch is all about. It's about wrist presence. It's about kind of wearing a piece of art on your wrist. I mean, that's really what this watch is. So about the dial on this is a graphite lava emulsion with a laser cut dragon outline. So actually the dragon and everything is one piece, and then they laser cut that dragon out of the dial and then probably do the overlay of the gold and stuff like that on there. So very cool. This is running a hardened sapphire crystal on this watch. It does have a display case back. I'll go ahead and open the band here so we can see that. It's a big stiff leather band here. But there you guys go. You can see the Zoid logo there on the back. It's painted on the back of the case back there. Has these 6 screws holding down the case back on the watch. And let me try to get my camera to focus a little bit better. You guys can see the Zoid logos and stuff like that. Sapphire crystal, 24 jewel movement, automatic. 316L stainless steel, and 100 meters water resistant. This is a genuine leather band. It's really a nicely made band. It's all calf leather with embossed crocodile pattern on it. It's all hand stitched, which is very nice. And then this is a custom cut buckle here, laser engraving and stuff like that. Actually, I don't see any laser engraving on there, but very nicely done. So it does have a bezel, you know, I mean, I don't know if you're actually going to use the bezel on this watch, but it's kind of cool, 120 click bezel, so you can actually use it for timing things. I mean, even though this is a very artistic and fancy looking watch, it's fully functional. I mean, everything on it works really good. The NH37 movement's going to keep good time for you. And very cool. And just flair. I mean, just the flair of this watch, what you get with it and stuff. One of the comments I heard in a Facebook group, and it was pretty funny, was they said it looks like a throwing star. It looks like a Japanese throwing star. And honestly, I think if you huck this thing at somebody and hit them in the head with it, it'd have about the same effect as a throwing star. So very cool watch. Now, I will get a wrist shot here at the end. Let me give you some dimensions on this watch. So I measured it from side to side here, guys. Now, side to side, you're looking at 50 millimeters. If you include this massive crown guard, you're looking at 57 millimeters from side to side. Huge. Now, they advertise 12 millimeters, guys, but that's obviously a typo. I measure it. This comes in at a super thick and hefty 17 millimeters thick. You have 22 millimeter lug openings, and one of the things I neglected to measure was the lug tip to lug tip on this watch, which I think is going to be pretty impressive, guys. Yeah, you're looking at a 57.3 lug tip to lug tip. So, all right, guys. So I know that this watch is not going to be in the taste of a lot of people out there, you know. But if you are a crazy watch collector, if you're a big guy and you got money and stuff like that and you want to have something completely different, this is absolutely a stunning piece that will definitely get people's attention. I mean, it's a conversation starter. Definitely. You guys can see the sweeping second hand. They are using super luminova on the hands and the indices. I'm not going to do a lume shot. It's not super impressive, but it's pretty good. Lighter lume on the indices than on the hand tips and stuff like that, but very nicely done. So let me go ahead and pause it and get this thing on the wrist here, guys. All right, so if you guys want to know what a 50 millimeter by 57 millimeter watch by 17 millimeters thick looks like on a 7-inch wrist, there it is, guys. There's what it looks like on my wrist. I guarantee you guys, if I was wearing this out in public and you guys are watch freaks, you're going to come over and ask me a question about it or two, just to find out what the heck that guy is wearing on his wrist. And yeah, it's pretty impressive. Pretty impressive piece, guys. I'll leave links down below to where you guys can get to the Zoid website and check out all the different watches they have to offer, because it's not just the Dragon series. They have a lot of really neat mechanical limited edition pieces out there available. This is number 5 of 8 available in the Red Dragon. The Green Dragon is wild, guys. Definitely go check that out. The price on these, this is a $987 watch, US dollar. The Green Dragon is the same price. Now, the model with the Swarovski crystals inlaid and stuff like that in black is running at about $1,400. But like I said, each one is 1 of 8 made, guys. So you're not going to bump into anyone wearing one of these out in public. So very cool watch. One thing I want to point out to you guys, if you guys can see it there in the background on the table, right there, that's a new watch that I do have in for review. That is the newest of the Steinhardt vintage GMT watches, and we'll be taking a look at that watch tomorrow here on the channel. But very cool. The Zoid Red Dragon, guys. All right, if you liked the video, give me a thumbs up down there at the bottom. And if you're not subscribed to the OFD channel yet, please do. Please do. All right, thanks, guys.